accordance with the current law, which is the National Government Administration Act, National Government Coordination Act of 2013, is the sublocation. And for many years, there has been a debate in this country on amending that act so that to include the role of, to create villages as organs or units for administration, and those villages now be under the jurisdiction of village elders. At the same time, you're aware we have some volunteers who have been supporting the assistant chiefs, who are the lowest cadres in the Ngao structure. The assistant chief is the lowest cadre, but there has been an arrangement where volunteers in form of area managers, village elders, Mumbakumi, they are there, they support, but they have not been given any. First of all, they are not entrenched in the statutes, but also they are not compensated for their services. They are volunteers. Yet they provide critical services to our country's stability and security. Many, many instances where we have had successes in the security sector, the information has come from this unrecognized and uncompensated cadre. At the moment, we do not have a policy on the matter. So to summarize my response, Chair, the view of the government is that we are not opposed, and this government has undertaken to bring legislative and policy proposals to the Houses of Parliament to do a number of things. One, to amend the law and be able to have structures or units below this sublocation which can assist us in managing our security better. And this will require, of course, a statutory amendment, but also after that statute or legislation is amended, will require a policy that will, for example, provide things like how do we engage these village elders or whatever, lower cadre that we might establish. What will be their terms of engagement? What will be their functions as village elders? We must also, I hope in the statute, we will have established how do you establish villages? What is the criteria? What forms a village? What factors? What parameters? Population, geographical areas, security needs, socio-economic factors, community of interest, and all those factors will be considered in the creation of villages. But we will need a policy on terms of engagement, the functions of village elders, criteria for recruitment, how they will be recruited, how they will be compensated, and how they will be terminated, because where there is employment, there must be a termination procedure, disciplinary procedures as well for those who veer off from their mandate, conditions and procedures of exit and vacation from office, etc., etc. This policy framework will enable the ministry to establish that we are able to accommodate this additional structure in the budgetary and fiscal plans for the country. And I think we are carefully taking our time. A study has already been commissioned in my office to look at the budgetary implications of creating, villages and having village elders who are compensated by government. And some scenarios have been developed in terms of how much we can give the village elders and what that means to the exchequer, so that we discuss the National Treasury and those involved in national planning, so that we don't overcommit the country to a financial burden that it cannot undertake. However, Chair, having said so, it is the policy position of this administration that the role of village elders is essential. It should and it ought to be recognized in law, entrenched in statutes, and backed with or by a policy framework on how they operate and how they are recruited and how they leave office. And therefore, I want to underscore on behalf of government that any proposals, recommendations from this committee, from the Senate, or from the National Assembly towards firming up the legal status of village elders, the creation of units below the sublocation for purposes of better governance in the country, and the compensation of these very critical personnel that have been volunteering will be supported by this administration, and we will engage the National Treasury and make a case for the inclusion of the financial aspects of this endeavor to ensure that in the shortest time possible we recognize village elders and provide a legal and policy framework for their operations.